Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes.
Hello and welcome out to this week's episode of the Gamers Council. I'm your host, WEBDAVE, along with my co-host, Hargeet Chani. Hargeet, how you doing, buddy?
I'm muting. Doing good.
We'll throw us around a little bit. Oh, goodness. And we are going to be joined by Plume. Tony from the Plume Network is going to be here in just a little bit. And then Gaming Forte is going to be here in just a little bit. But we are definitely pleased to be welcoming in the one and only Parris LILLY. Parris, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, sir. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, and it's always good for you to be here, whether you're lurking in the chat or picking on P-Lump. I mean, anyway, I'm just kidding. Hey, look, there it is. Tony, what's up, buddy?
Hey, guys. Sorry I'm a little bit late. Kids are being kids. You know how it is. So
I do actually know that.
Yeah. My wife was at the park. I was alone here with one of them, so he wasn't going to sleep. And now he's finally settling, and hopefully he stays asleep so he can have a good podcast.
Well, there you go. But you know what? Real life happens. So if there's any time you need to just mute and jump up and take care of family, that's awesomely good too. Don't worry about it at all is what I'm basically saying. So
Sounds good.
Yeah. It's all good. I think we've all been there at one time or another. So yeah, that's what it is. Hargeet, my friend, man, it just seems like we are in some kind of I don't know, kind of a holding pattern, it's like waiting for the next shoe to drop. But then again, it's like there's so many positives and good things coming our way. I mean, we have our listed topics tonight. And of course, the main header, like what's next for gaming, but that can take on a lot of different platitudes. So where would you like to start tonight?
Well, let's leave it to Parris, who's here for a shorter time, right? So
Very true.
What do you want to go into?
I am looking at the topics, and let's start with next gen Xbox as soon as 2026. So I have some conspiracy theories.
Here we go. I'm ready for this.
If you would have asked me a month ago when I thought the next generation Xbox was going to drop, I would have said 2027. I'm starting to lean towards I could see it happening next year. I could see it November 15th, 2026. We get the next gen console. And I'll give you my reasons why. So I think at a minimum, because November 15th, 2026 is the 15th, or not, excuse me, not the 15th, the 25th anniversary of the Xbox. And they're going to make a big deal out of that. I think we're all aware of that. And we know what Phil Spencer hinted at, that there's going to be a game that has been with us since the beginning as a part of 2026. It's clearly that's Halo. Obviously, all the rumors say that that's going to be the Halo Combat Evolved remake. So I think at a minimum, we do get that. So here's my thought. You will at least see what the next Xbox is going to be on November 15, 2026. There is a definite chance that we actually get it on November 15th, 2026. And if that happens, we'll already know what the console is. They'll show it at the June showcase or something like that. But the fact that you already had Sarah Bond come out and talk about it. You then had Lisa Su come out and talk about the partnership with AMD. it's starting to make me think. You're talking about this in the summer of 2025. That's 18 months from now, potentially. You could now have whatever your next console is going to be. I'm assuming it's probably the Windows operating system, just everything that they've talked about, but it will not shock me anymore if we actually get the console in 2026. And Xbox does have precedent of doing something like this because this is what they did with the Xbox 360. They launched it in November of 2005, and that was what, 4 years? Something like that? After the original Xbox. So them shortening a generation isn't shocking. And honestly, 2026, that have been 6 years since the Series X and the S came out. And you do it on the 25th anniversary, which makes a lot of sense. So not only do you give us another Halo, you give us another Xbox on the 25th anniversary. So I'm honestly 50-50 at this point. I do think it could happen. I really do.
Wow. Okay. All right. So with that, Plume, let's go right to you, Tony. Give us your thoughts on what Parris just said, and what do you speculate?
I mean, that makes sense to me. The whole next Xbox launching 2026, launching earlier than we would see a PlayStation 6, because of what we did, like Parris said, with the 360. They're going to want to, I think, get it out there earlier and give people more reasons to jump into the next generation when there isn't going to be a prime competitor out there with the PS6. So I think, especially with the anniversary stuff and Halo, Gears, and the next Forza coming all at the same time, if they launch a console with that, that would be pretty enticing for a lot of people to want to get into it. I guess now the question that I have, and I think a lot of people have, is the 2026 and the future of Xbox, does that, because we're already getting a handheld this year, we know that with the ROG Xbox Ally, is it just going to be the first party Xbox consoles that are going to be coming, or is there going to be other manufacturers of these consoles? What would this next Xbox be like? Are they going for like a premium high-end device that they're making themselves? And if they want to get people in at a cheaper price, there'll be like other manufacturers out there that do that. And there's just a lot of questions here, especially with the OS and how are they going to roll that out in 2026? Is it going to play the new OS that they did show? When our console game is going to be able to play on that? So I think going forward, we'll get a lot of those answers in the next year or so, but I could definitely see them launching a new console next year and getting ahead of PlayStation.
Yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, it seemed like it was kind of an advantage to them a little bit during the 360, and then they kind of lost their advantage. So I don't know. Hargeet, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it parallels some of the previous announcement timelines, right? So it very well could be. So why would they come out in right after the showcase, right? They first announced the ROG Xbox, which is the next Xbox, I guess. And then they, come out and tell us about this partnership, about the next consoles coming. It kind of parallels what they did with the Series console announcement. But this also could have just been, hey, we just announced this third-party OEM thing. Maybe we need to just, announce the fact that we're still making a console, or, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe that's what it is. But it does feel like it is kind of just like that. Hey, this is the 18-month roadmap. We announce that we're doing something. We announced the console maybe like early next year, or like they did with the Series console, they announced it at Keeley's. That's a possibility, right? The Game Awards. And then, they release it next fall. I'm starting to lean towards that myself. It would be good for them from sort of setting a standard of like generations are kind of going away here. If they're going to continue this pattern of OEMs, then why would you stop at that, right? Would you, let's say they do put a landed, console under your TV, right? As a box they make. Would that be the end? It's like the ROG, Z3 Extreme comes out. Are they going to say, no, you can't make an Xbox version of that? Why not? Right. So in 2027, would there be a ROG Z3 Extreme, equivalent Xbox? Probably. Right. Will there be other ones? Like Parris, you've been saying this is not going to be limited to Asus, right? And I agree. I think there's going to be other ones. Right. So Could next year we also get something from MSI? Could we get something from, you know, Lenovo, from a third party we don't even know about? Absolutely. Right. We also don't know if that handheld. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, to the point of what you mean about, I think there's going to be other ones. Remember, Jason Ronald was at the Lenovo event at CES, not Asus,
Exactly, right?
talking about them fixing things on Windows. So it's inevitable there's going to be other partners making hardware.
So, and when will that come out, right? So 2026, very well, you could see a bunch of different OEMs throwing out their Xboxes. So now you have that. And what hardware changes occur in the next year? I don't know. The Z2 Extreme is what they're going to use now, right? So what happens to that when it revs up? There'll be another one, I'm sure. And then there'll be more power, and then they'll be like, well, we'll have the next Xbox equivalent. So I just kind of see that continuing. And then the idea of generations will be interesting at that point, because is there a generation then? Is it just, hey, there's a schism between the console that sits under your TV that Xbox makes, and then all these Windows equivalent devices that kind of, you know, use the Windows side of it, but have an Xbox capability set? Fair enough, right? We will see what they do with it. I still think there's a distinction. I still think there's going to be an Xbox OS that's going to run on an Xbox device. They will just add features like they always do, bring features over from Windows. They will add the feature to allow you to use the stores from Windows, right? It is based Windows. It always has been, right? They just run a VM underneath for doing various things, right? So right now they have a game engine VM that runs your games. They'll just add the capability in that game engine VM, or add another VM that just runs Windows and says you can go ahead and run your Steam game, and it'll just, there you go. There's a little mini Windows running, and Steam game can run there. Right. That's always a possibility. So I don't know what they're planning to do. We'll see. But that shouldn't be that much of a departure. The usual part is the hardware has to be ready. The software has to come with it. Fair enough. I don't know if they're going to like do the whole UI revamp thing. It doesn't seem like it, because they seem to be making it more like the Xbox on the PC side. So it seems like they're going to keep that UI. Given that, I don't think that that's going to be the huge departure they need to do. It's going to be incremental capability sets that they're going to add. And then we'll see what they do as far as bringing that, Windows gaming into the Xbox console, which again, all of it's technically viable. It's all questions of licensing and whatnot, and how you make it work and all, the main headaches I see is PC games don't have the restrictions that Xbox certification does. As in, you can have a game that is keyboard mouse only, and they don't care, right? That, like, Steam doesn't give a damn. Like, you do what you want, right? But Xbox has always had the no, we only ship with a controller, therefore the game must work with the controller. Well, that's gonna have to go away, right? So, what are they gonna do?
What I think would happen with that, and they talked about this when I was at Showcase and I got hands on with the handheld, is you add a badge. This is quote unquote Xbox certified. Right.
Yep.
So if it's a game coming from Steam or another digital store that isn't certified to be able to run on this hardware, it doesn't have that badge. So if it doesn't run 100%, ahead of time.
Exactly. And that's just how it'll have to be handled somehow like that. Right. So fair enough. Right. But so could it come out in 2026? Yes. I don't think it's November 15th. And the only reason is that's a Sunday. So I think they'll work around that date, right? But it does seem like it will be around that date.
See, and it's interesting you say that, because I've heard other people say that too. Well, that's a Sunday; they're not going to do that. But if it's a celebration of Xbox, they can do it. I mean, their showcases are on Sunday already anyway, so it wouldn't be anything new. Yeah, I just think if the hardware really drops, I mean, sure, maybe it doesn't necessarily, because again, they're shipping, you're buying it from Amazon, Best Buy, and all that. People might have it ahead of time, but November 15th would be the day to actually celebrate all that stuff.
And that it's
kind of my thought.
That would be like a very cool, like, party like thing to do, right? And people who come to that party, everybody can get one right there from them or something along those lines, right?
Yeah.
But the official launch date might be 2 days later, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
That is viable. That is definitely a potential thing. and they all get a special edition, 25th anniversary happy whatever edition console.
Because I'm trying to remember, because I went to 0 Hour for the 360, and that was I want to say the first day was a Sunday, and I feel like it was a Monday night that the 360 actually came out. I'd have to go back and look at the actual days
Tuesday,
of the week,
right? So it'd be like Monday midnight, right? So it was, and I guess at Pacific time it would be a little earlier, but whatever, you get the point. But yeah, that's the usual thing. So I think it'd be around that. I'm sure it'll be around that time frame, right? If they do it, and they should do a celebration. We kind of missed that with the Xbox Series consoles and PS5 because
COVID.
We were all in COVID lockdown.
Yep.
So we couldn't do anything, but now we can, right? So it's a big celebration. Why not? Why not do that?
I'd honestly be shocked at this point if they didn't. They're going to make a big deal. 25th anniversary.
Yeah, I would say that normally, but then again, they canceled the FanFest watch party. And
That's true.
But we kind of know why they did that now that they have this 10-year anniversary one coming up at PAX, right? So
not PAX
or not PAX. I'm sorry, Gamescom.
Gamescom.
But,
yeah. So maybe that was why they did that.
I guess we will see what that is, right? Because from what I'm hearing, it's pretty small. But anyways, we'll push that aside. As far as the hardware itself, 2026 does seem like a viable thing. I think it's possible that they do that. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 2027 though. That's fine.
Yeah,
but it is possible.
my thing is, if it doesn't come out in 2026, they will use that day to show it. We will see it. You will see it at least on that day. Yeah. You will know what it's going to be, even if it's still a year away.
Yeah, and then what happens to generations after that? I don't know. I like the is there going to be an OEM under TV Xbox? Possibly, right? So I know they'll do one. I'm pretty sure they'll do one, but then that doesn't mean they wouldn't stop there and say, okay, well, if MSI wants to make one that's got a more umphier whatever version of the Xbox, okay, maybe 2 years from then they allow that and they say, let's go ahead and have something that has more power. That's a possibility. I like in my world, I like that. I would love to be able to say, okay, cool, you have your base min requirements. That's what you built. But if I want to have one like I do with my PC, I want to have one that quadruples that power because it's available. Well, make me one. Let me go ahead and do that. And if it's an AMD box, that's fine. I don't care. Just give me the ability to say I can pay more and buy a box that does more, right? And then uncap things and let me go. Let me do. I can always get the Steam version, I suppose, but uncap the games and let me just take advantage of my hardware. I think that would be awesome.
Well, I mean, my thing on all of this is they're clearly and look, let's be crystal clear on this. They are doing something disruptive that goes against the traditional norms of how we've done gaming for the past 30 or 40 years. So it's different. Change is always going to be resisted against because it's different. Not even necessarily saying I'm 100% on board with it because it all sounds great in theory, but they need to execute on it, right? But the bottom line is this. You talk about generations and all that. I don't think there's generations anymore. I think they're just going to say, hey, they're clearly leaning more into what they do, which is Windows. Like Phil Spencer himself said, this is the closest collaboration that the Windows team and the Xbox team has had in the 25-year history of Xbox, right? So whatever this next hardware is, whether it's coming directly from Microsoft or it's coming from a partner, this is going to be different. I personally think, this is just my theory, I personally think there will be a day where this Windows 11 or Windows 12 or whatever it is, I can go get the consumer version of Windows. I can build a PC and I enable game mode. It's an Xbox. I think that happens. I think this is the trajectory that we're on with this. Is it different? Yes. Is this the innovation that Phil Spencer, when I asked him about, well, why am I buying an Xbox if these games are everywhere? Is this the innovation that they're going to do that still makes me want to have an Xbox, invest in it, and the ecosystem and all these things? We'll see. But it's pretty clear they're doing something different. And I'll say this, speaking on Phil Spencer, I also think 2026 is very important because I think that's the last year that Phil Spencer will be the CEO of Microsoft Gaming. I think it culminates there. I think he gets them to the quote unquote finish line of his vision of what he wanted Xbox to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think you get an announcement in early 2027. He's stepping down, and whoever takes over, be it Sarah Bond or whoever, is going to be a new CEO of Microsoft Gaming. That's my personal opinion. I have no insight on this. This is just me guessing. Yeah. He's been there a long time. Because it was funny. I'll just tell the story really quick.
Yeah.
I was at the 50th anniversary for Microsoft. I was on campus. So I was in the crowd when Satya Nadella and Steve Ballmer, Bill Gates, and all that were there, right?
Yeah.
Guess who the only person from Xbox was also there? It was Phil Spencer. He's literally sitting with Bill Gates and Steve Ballmer, right? He even got up at one point and told a story, like jokingly, about how, he's been this 30-year employee. Don't tell his boss who's Satya, that, he plays video games for a living, right? But I always found that interesting, that's how long Phil's been there, that he's at the point now where he's literally sitting with the other CEOs of Microsoft throughout their entire history, right? So I personally think, and no one's told me this is just me speculating, that 2026, 25th anniversary, that is a good stepping off point. He is already the longest tenured gaming CEO we've ever seen in the history of video games, 40-year history. So I kind of think this is it for him. And I think them doing something different is where he's going to hand the baton off. Will it work? We will see, but it's happening. Has it been a weird journey the past few years? 100% it has been. I mean, definitely I've stuck my foot in my mouth over some of the stuff that they've done. But this is where I think they're going. I see the vision. They just have to execute it. That's where we are. This handheld, whatever this potential hybrid PC console that's running a Windows operating system, Xbox Play Anywhere, Game Pass, and all that. I see it. But they got to pull it all together. And ultimately, it's about the games. If you don't have the games to support it, none of this matters. But I think when we look the rest of this year and going into 2026, they have a pretty strong lineup of games that I think, at least initially, you can see what they're trying to do, but they'll just have to stay consistent with it.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so I'm gonna get my 2 cents in real quick, but I'm gonna throw a big monkey wrench in it. I want to get y'all's thoughts on this. So what if, just hear me out. So what if we have this, at Gamescom, they have the official announcement as far as the release date and when you can pre-order of the handheld console. And it's maybe coming out like in October, roughly, something like that. So when it comes out, like, cool, so we know what's coming, right? And then everybody's excited for that, and all kinds of game announcements and stuff throughout the rest of the year. And then say, I don't know, the Keeleys, the awards show, the actual the game awards, that happens in December. Maybe then, we have a big surprise announcement that the unveiling of the new next gen Xbox to be released in 2026. So it's unveiled there on the world stage for everybody to see. And maybe they even give it a few little highlights to play everything from everywhere right here on this console. And then they drop the bomb that it's going to actually release in the summer. I don't know, say when another big game like, Grand Theft Auto 6 releases in the window of that, to where there's big bunch of lineup of some heavy hitters coming out. And of course, the best place to play on a console would be the most powerful console made, Sarah Bond said to the time, which would be the new generation Xbox. So maybe that all comes, and it's in the anniversary year. And the thing that really caps me on this is that, Nintendo just released their Switch 2, which released in the summer, and is the fastest selling console of all time within a 3-week span, 3.5 million units sold. So it's not like it's a bad time of year to sell a console. I don't know. Am I just totally reaching, grasping? Who wants to go first? Because I know you guys are going to have some comments.
I'm talking a lot, but I do want to be before anyone else goes to say that I don't agree with you, but I will hold my thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll jump in. That all sounds great. I just
sound great, doesn't
it? I don't agree either though. Just because like what we have seen this year more so than anything is like their own hardware. Yes, there's going to be hardware. Like we know Xbox is making hardware, whether that's via third parties or their own first party devices. But the thing that Xbox needs to focus on right now, if they want to expand it, that they've obviously gone over this so many times, is that software and that operating system. And how is that going to work? How does that integrate into playing your console games, your current Xbox library on other devices? Because right now, to me, the biggest question going forward for Xbox, I think for a lot of people who are in the Xbox ecosystem, is with the ROG Xbox Ally coming out, and it has its own custom Xbox UI that is basically the Xbox PC app, where you're just getting right now Game Pass and your PC games. At what point is that expanded out? Is it expanded out where you can play your owned console games, where you can play all your backwards compatibility stuff? So I feel like if I'm Xbox right now, from everything that they have been doing with this is an Xbox, the logical next step, if they really want to expand out, is to show how this operating system and their software and how this is going to be the big jump here to try to get more people interested in it. If they just come out with another console and nothing really changes, that's obviously not their strategy, right? Like they're going to need to put software on that console that gives you access to everything. Steam integration, with which we're already seeing hints of that with the whole update from June. Is that making its way to the console? Will that be making its way to the Series X and S at some point if it does land on the console? Like if they came out and they showed all of that type of stuff, which I don't think they would probably do at a Game Awards show, they would hold it for their own style event. I think that would be the big thing that they end up wanting to highlight and show off for the future. But I mean, yeah, they did the Series X, right, at the Game Awards. What was it, 2019?
Yep.
So this would be kind of like, if they were to do it again, it would be a similar thing. And I remember when they showed that off, I was very excited for that, because that kind of came out of nowhere. I don't remember that being leaked or people were talking about it before they ended up going on stage and showing that. So it would be exciting, but I don't know if that like meets what the Xbox business right now is trying to do, which is, the reality is they're making hardware, but that's obviously not their main focus for the future.
Right. Yeah. And in rehearsals for that particular showcase, that the award show, they even said that they had rehearsed a different video for the rehearsal, so that nobody even knew that was coming. And then when that actual dropped the video, Jeff didn't even know it until it happened.
Yeah,
that's why his surprise was genuinely like, holy shit, my show's fantastic now. Go ahead.
And the Switch in the summer selling 3.5 million is insane, but the big thing there is the Switch had in crazy amounts of inventory, which when the PS5 and the Series X launch, obviously we had the whole chip shortage and stuff. So that's what they have to do as well with the next drop of console. It can't be like you have to wait months to get it. When the next Xbox console drops, especially if they're dropping it early, they have to make sure that those stores you can walk in, you can pick one up. And because even now, like I go to EB Games, Best Buy, like I can walk in and their Switch 2 is available. So they did a really good job with the inventory on that.
Yeah. And who's to say they're not in production on some things right now as far as chip goes? Just saying. Hargate, your thoughts?
Well, let's go to Parris, right? Parris didn't get to have his.
Sure, go ahead.
No, I mean, honestly, I'm going to echo a lot of what Plume just said. Yeah, I don't think you give this to Keighley. This is your own show, and I don't think you do it that far out. Again, it's about celebrating the 25th year of Xbox. That's a June showcase thing. If they're, again, we're talking if it's coming out in 2026. If it is really coming out in 2026, I'm not showing it. I'm not doing anything until that June showcase. And then because you really need to expand upon the features of what this console is going to do, that's so innovative. Because I can go play Gears E-Day on the PlayStation 5. So why am I buying your box? You need to talk about that. You need to have representatives available for interviews. There's a lot that would go into that. I would say very similar to this showcase where they showed off the handheld. I got hands-on with it that same day.
Yep.
And I was able to talk to people about it. We got a whole demonstration of it. So I understood what the handheld was. I would think that would need to be something very similar with whatever their next gen console is. And is it only them putting out a console at launch? Are their partners also making consoles as well? So there's a lot that they would still need to talk about, not to mention, like Plume was talking about, the software aspect of it. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done on the Windows side of this to get it to where they need to be. If this is truly going to be the Windows operating system that emphasizes the Xbox experience when you boot it up, but it's very similar to Steam OS, I would have an option to flip to a desktop mode if I necessarily needed to. They need to make it so that, and this is part of what the Xbox Ally is going to have at launch, is it's going to boot up into that Xbox experience. But what if I want to install Steam? What if I want to install GOG? What am I doing about security updates? Things like that. All of that, and they're aware of this because I talked to them about it. They don't want you to have to leave the Xbox experience unless you choose so. Right. So by the time the next gen console comes out, if it is based off of Windows operating system, and we're pretty safe to assume, just going by Sarah Bond's words, it's going to be Windows. By then, it needs to be perfect. Yeah. Because it needs to be consumer friendly. I press the button, I play my games. Period.
What if a tweak that just a little bit? Just a tweak. Say it doesn't happen. They do announce it instead of the Keighley show. Say if they do announce it next year at the showcase. What if it's announced then, but they've already got stuff ready to go to where 2 months later you're ordering it, a couple months later than that you're able to buy it.
I still think you hold it to the 25th anniversary. Well, that's just my thought on it, because there's the other rumor that's out there as well. Just to add more credence to why I'm thinking this might happen next year. There was a rumor that had already been out there that the next Call of Duty will abandon the Xbox One and the PS4. It will be, quote unquote, be made for next gen. So sure, it's still going to play on Series X and PS5, but there's a skew higher than that it's also being developed for, which would be next gen. And look, we know what Call of Duty is. If you're abandoning the Xbox One and the PS4, we're talking 100+ million devices.
Yep.
It can't just be the Series X and the PS5 at that point. You've got to be scaling it for something beyond that. So that's why I say again, if they're doing this, it would not shock me that we're getting it in 2026. So again, just going off of why I said I slightly disagree with you. No, I don't think you give this to Keighley. I think you do it at the June showcase, and you now have the entire summer and that Gamescom as well of 2026 to be talking about this thing, to be showing it off, potentially some early preview stuff with it. Mm-hmm. And then in November, boom, it's out. You can go buy it. And Halo Combat Evolve is a part of that. Because here's the other part to it as well. Going by what Phil said, we're getting another Forza, we're getting Fable, we're getting Gears E-Day, and then again, let's just assume it's Halo.
Mm-hmm. Assume, yeah.
You can't shove all of that to the end of the holiday.
No.
This is my theory. Again, I have to be crystal clear in these things these days. No one has told me this. This is me guessing.
Yeah.
I think we get whatever the next Forza is, we get in the first half of 2026. Yeah. It would not shock me, because we still got Gamescom coming this year. We get a State of Decay 3 as well. Yep. First half of the year.
When's Fable coming out?
I think September, because you're not going to do Gears E-Day on the exact 20th anniversary, because that's too close to the 25th anniversary, right? So what if we got Fable in September of 2026, Gears E-Day kind of the beginning of October, whatever this next Call of Duty is, the end of October, early November, and then boom, 25th anniversary, 15th, you get the Halo Combat Evolve remake and potentially new hardware. That's kind of my theory and roadmap for their 2026.
They still have Clockwork, which is probably good for next year.
No, see, I don't think so. I don't.
You think it's
the way they phrase Clockwork, I don't think that's a next year thing. I think that's, and again, you got so much stuff coming out. there's no reason to bring out Clockwork in 2026. You hold that to 2027, probably with a Perfect Dark and something else.
And Elder Scrolls 6, which is probably 27 as well.
Well,
But either way,
else they could do.
their roadmap is crazy.
Like,
right?
I feel like Elder Scrolls is like
Blade, all that
2030.
stuff.
So so what Parris, what you said, if they could like say the Forza game comes out earlier in the year, right? Okay, but then we get the new console, and everybody's like, oh, but like an automatic free upgrade.
Of course.
They've already set that. They've already set that precedent. That wouldn't even be a question.
That would be, but I mean that way people wouldn't have to worry about like, oh, I bought it for this. I mean, no, if you got the system, you got the game, you've got the latest version already because it's going to upgrade for you. And the more things they could advertise and push it that way. So we do want to thank the over 307 people that are here joining us live right now. Thank you all so much for being here. Hargeet, I know you got some points in this, but we have a bunch of super chats and member stuff, but I do want to say that we are no longer reading out the names of everybody that gets these, since we lowered that down to just $1 for giving gifted members, which is great, and we do appreciate it.
Them all.
Nah, we're not. I got so many complaints about us reading them and how much time it wasted. We're not going to read it. We're just gonna at least talk about the who gave it for sure, because we appreciate that, and hopefully they will thank the person also. But yeah, let's get through those real quick, and then we'll get your points.
All right, so Adidas renewed his membership for 21 months. Adidas 20. Thanks, man.
Also, one other thing I wanted to say real quick is that for some reason YouTube has doing some wonky things. So in other words, like right now, my WEBDAVE is my thing on here, my what do you call it, the preferred tag, but it's no longer doing that when you actually post a message. It's changed it back to the original monarchy, which is at
I see that too.
So there's a lot of people like FarQ and some others that are in there. They're like, hey, what happened to my name?
That when I talk about it.
Yeah. So just so you know.
So Adidas $2. Salute to you, man.
Thanks, Adidas.
Denny Passion, which is Denny Passion official, $5. Yep. The next Xbox best option is to release in 2026. If not, they're going to struggle as same or more than what happened with the series consoles. Yeah, I mean, I think the market position they're going in may change things because they're taking away just Xbox being Xbox. They're saying it's Xbox and Windows. Once you bring in Windows, which is 1 billion gamers, I don't know what that looks like. We will see. We will see what that looks like, right? But we'll find out in a few years. Will the Broke Boy Insider? It's showing this.
Thanks, Will.
Actual, gifted 20 WebDave memberships.
20. That's amazing.
I guess we'll, thanks for that. I guess we won't be talking about who they are. And then put in a member chat for 4 months. Hope everyone is having a great evening. Thanks, Will. And then it dropped my Broke Boy Insider name. $2. Yes, apparently it did. Analog AI 20. I don't even know what currency that is. From 2023, I'm saying the next Xbox in 2026 plus GTA 6. Yeah, look, to your point on the will it release earlier or later? I'll get into that. I guess I'll just get into it later. We'll talk about that specific thing. FarQ, which is supposed to be just FarQ, but it's not FarQ 2 because that's his actual whatever. Anyways, gifted 10 WebDave memberships.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for
FarQ.
And I guess it's L. Maybe I'm B 2004. I don't know. I'm not sure how else to say that one. Plume, my morning botcaster here to TTS salute. So maybe Plume. What is that supposed to be?
He watches my morning videos. He's telling me to talk shit right now. So
yeah, exactly. And,
appreciate it, Al. Maybe.
Yeah. Plume puts out amazing shows.
Okay. All right. All right. And that is it. We're caught up.
Hargeet,
on releasing with GTA, I mean, it'd be freaking awesome. But if they announce it appropriately, they could also just have it announced that, hey, GTA 6 will be coming to this next Xbox, which will be announced by then. And, they can talk to you about what the feature set will be once it comes out, right? And then you can make a determination as to which platform you want to buy it on. That's up to the consumer, right? So I don't know that they would pull it back. It's always possible. Anything is possible. It just timeline-wise doesn't seem to line up with that. However, again, they could totally change their timeline and do whatever they want, right? Ultimately, it's all about money and how they can position things and get it done. And, if they can get the execution right, it's possible. But I just still think I like what Parris was saying. Do it at the anniversary. It just makes sense. Have a celebration at the anniversary. It just kind of makes sense. Now, could they forego that? Yes, they could. But I just he's already mentioned he wanted to have Halo come out with the last console. They missed that target.
Yeah.
I think they want to do that this time, right? And so they're gonna have Halo, I think, release as a launch title with the next hardware. I think they want to do that. It would be special, especially given it probably is, like we're all thinking, a Halo Combat Evolved remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it. It just aligns poetically, right? Might as well do something like that. It would be kind of cool. It would be a celebration moment, right? So I think that's the way they do it. And we are getting the entire package of the big games, Halo, Gears, Forza, Fable, all coming next year. They've already said that essentially, right? So yeah, it'd be cool to do it in the fall, like release the new thing. I understand GTA is a big, huge game, right? I agree. First, it's not guaranteed that May is actually the date. I'm just saying.
That's true. That's true. They could always bump it back.
We're not going to change the date. They've done it before.
They have. Last two times, I think. They could push it back to November 15th. Oh, sorry.
So could it be? Or could it come out like a week after the next Xbox? It's always possible. I don't know, right? Or a week before, right? And then you just wait like a week or whatever it is, right? We will see what they do with that. But I think GTA is its own entity. At the time of the announcement, like once the console is announced, usually it'll be like you'll get some good details March, April, right? At that point, they can talk about GTA. Hey, it's coming. Here are the things GTA is going to bring to the table. It'd be good to partner on that as far as just having them talk about it. Take two, right? Talk about it as far as when they announce it, right? That'd be a good big game. But of course, they have so much first party. They could do that too, right? So, but usually they don't announce Call of Duty until June Showcase. So they can't really talk about Call of Duty, the next Call of Duty. But what they could do is talk about games that have either already come out or been announced. And well, GTA has already been announced. So it would be a good one to actually talk about. It's a big game. And maybe they could say, hey, we have a next gen version of that coming. I don't know when. Hopefully it comes at launch. GTA could also just wait and give you that patch a little later. Hopefully they don't. But that would be my thoughts on what would happen there. I don't think they would coincide the launch with that, given the importance of the 25th anniversary. I think they would try to keep it in that November timeframe, try to match that time and have a party about it. I think it's a good celebration. Parris, your thoughts about Phil retiring at some point? I mean, he's like mid-50s right now, something like that. It's going to happen, right? We know it's going to happen. The question is when? Is it a year or two? I don't know. So does he do it before he's 60? Maybe. Right? At some point, it's just got to wear on you, right?
Well, my thought is launching their next generation is kind of the perfect time to walk away because you're handing off the baton, quote unquote. I've left it in good hands at this point. I've reached the vision of what I'm trying to get Xbox from what it was when I took over in 2014 to now here it is in 2026 with the 25th anniversary. We've launched a new Halo, we've launched new hardware, we got Game Pass, we got this Play Anywhere strategy. I mean, it could work. It would just make sense to me. I like I said, he's already the longest tenured, so we're past time at this point that I could see him walking away. He's clearly been grooming Sarah Bond over the past few years to step up. She's already the president of Xbox, so it would not shock me at all that she just takes over everything. 100%. Matt Booty obviously is handling all of their studios at this point. Craig Duncan has stepped up now, so it's like when I look at the leadership chain, we are getting to the point where he can walk away, and you have people that have been in place for X amount of years that can continue it on.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, sorry to dash your hopes. No.
Look, it's just a happy thought, and it's rumors and speculations. We don't know, but boy, if it happened, whoo.
My thing is because I'm limited on time, so I'm talking a lot. I apologize.
No, you're fine.
But my thing is, we've seen what Xbox has. Let's just go from 2020 to where we are now with the Series X. They clearly had some very dry years there in between. Obviously, there's different variables as to why that's happened. But I kind of look at where they were at the end of 2024. We've seen so far what they've done in 2025. We see the back end of 2025, obviously going into 2026. I feel like we're finally getting to that point where, yeah, Game Pass is truly the best value in gaming, because you look at all the content that you're getting out of it. You think about what both Matt Booty and Phil Spencer have said. They want to have essentially a major release every quarter. I kind of think we're there now with that, especially going into the back half of this year and into next year. So I feel like Xbox from a games standpoint is in a pretty good place. I feel like we're starting to get some quality games that I'm excited to play, both first party, I should say, and third party, that I want to play, that I want to see. You know, their flagship IPs next year looks like a big year for that, obviously. So it's a good time for Xbox. Look, we obviously know there's other things going on right now that I'm sure we'll get more information on coming into the following week. We'll obviously, react to it, when the time is appropriate to that. But is this an Xbox strategy? Is it going to work? I have no freaking clue. I really don't. Do I think it's weird that I have now played Gears of War on the PlayStation? Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be the same thing with Halo, when that happens, but things change. We may not necessarily agree with it, but let's see how it works out. I think that's kind of where we're at this point. And I'll say this, because Khalif had talked about this on a tweet and I responded to it, and I said it earlier today, is we're starting to recycle talking points. They're doing it. We know they're doing it. It's not a secret anymore. So we're at the point now. Let's see if it works. Yeah. Because screaming Xbox is doomed is kind of getting old at this point, right?
Like you're
pretending everything is unicorns and rainbows is getting old too. It's different. They have to execute on whatever the strategy is going to be. I don't agree with the way that they did it. I think they should have communicated a little better. There's a lot of innuendo and double talk in what they've done over the past couple of years. But we're at the point now that they ripped the Band-Aid off. They're just telling you straight up. So we know they're multi-platform. They think they can be multi-platform and still sell you hardware that you're going to want to buy. Let's see if it works. Yeah. Agreed. Simple as that.
Agreed. Sorry. All right. So since we do have you just for a limited more amount of time, you've actually had hands on the handheld, and you've actually had hands on the Xbox, the VR. So which one of those would you like to comment on before you head out?
I can comment on both. So I put out a video. Was that Monday or Tuesday? I forget what the embargo was for the MetaQuest 3S Xbox edition, which is essentially it's the MetaQuest VR, but it's Xbox branded. So it's it's black and it's green. It comes with a custom controller, which I have right here. Nice. That's a controller that it comes with. It has the Elite strap on it as well. I mean, you can cloud stream your games. You can essentially go into a virtual environment or do pass through, have a 100-inch screen, and you're cloud streaming playing your Xbox games. Works pretty well. I mean, obviously, I showed it off in the video how it works. You do need Game Pass Ultimate. It comes with 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate, 3 months of Meta Horizon Plus as well. There's other VR games real VR games that you can play on the MetaQuest 3S as well. Like Asheron's Call 2 is probably the best out of all of them. Nice. The Batman game, Deadpool VR games coming, etc. Now, this is what I will say, and I'm going to show this off too. So this is not the 3S. This is the MetaQuest 3. I've had this since December of 2023. The strategy, because the Xbox app has been on the MetaQuest since that time. And it's definitely improved over the last 18 months because it had a lot of latency when it first came out. So as you can see, I've attached the Elite strap that came with the Xbox edition to this because the resolution and the lens on the 3S is better, but it is more expensive as well. I say all that to say that there's nothing wrong with the 3S. I mean, it's fine. It's just they have a better version of it. So this is the MetaQuest 3S, the Xbox Edition one. You know, it has the Xbox logo on it, the whole thing. If you buy this, it's fine. It's $399. I think, you know, it's a limited edition run. I think it's actually sold out. I think you can probably still find it at a Best Buy or whatever. But it works. You can play your Xbox games on it. Works just fine. I have no issue with it at all. But you don't need to get it to use it. You can go get a 3S. You can go get a MetaQuest 3. You pair an Xbox controller to it. Game Pass. Get the app. You're playing it. Works fine.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the handheld goes, yeah. So I did get hands-on with it at the Xbox Showcase earlier this month. Got hands-on, got to play Gears of War Reloaded on it, sat through a presentation with the Windows team and the Xbox team to kind of show off the improvements that they're doing to Windows on it. Basically, the Xbox experience to improve the UI. Everything works like I have. This is the original Rogue. Look at all the fingerprints on it. But this is the original Rogue Ally. The big difference between this and the new one are the grips. It feels like you're holding an Xbox controller with those grips on it. And now the navigation all works with the joysticks and the buttons. So you don't have to do any weird Windows mouse navigation through anything. And like I was saying before, the whole point is they want to keep you in that experience. Like they turn off the desktop and any unnecessary resources while you're in the Xbox experience, and they were able to recover 2 gigabytes of RAM as a result. So they know they still got work to be done. That's why I think they didn't want us taking any direct screenshots, pictures, or anything like that. I would imagine at Gamescom we'll probably get more information on it. You know, rumored that it's going to launch. It's going to launch this holiday, but the rumor is I think it's going to launch in October or something like that. We still don't know the price. Brace for impact is all I'll say. Yeah. We'll see. But I enjoyed it. I liked it. I think it was cool. And that was the cool thing I got to do when I played Gears of War is I actually started playing on this, and then I flipped over to the Xbox Ally X. Night and day difference as far as the ergonomics of it, just the comfort level of it. So that to me, honestly, is probably the second biggest selling point is going to be the grips on it. The biggest one is going to be obviously the Windows UI improvements that they're going to do on it as well. But Gears of War Reloaded, obviously it's an older game, played just fine. I'll be curious to see how something like Cyberpunk or whatever plays on it in comparison to playing on the old Rogue Ally or playing on a Steam Deck, something like that, or even the Switch too, honestly. So I have to be clear on this because you know how social media is. This is not an Xbox console. It is a PC handheld running Windows 11 that has the potential to play some Xbox games, but not all of your Xbox games. And going back to something you said, Plume, but I do think there is a day where they're going to figure out backwards compatibility on Windows. And then now you are going to be able to go back and play some of your legacy Xbox games that are not a part of PC Game Pass or on Steam or whatever that you'll be able to play, obviously, right? So I don't think that's coming in 2025. I think that's a 2026 thing. Probably coincides with whatever their next gen strategy is going to be. But I think if you already have a Rogue Ally X, I would not tell anyone to go run out and go buy this new Xbox One unless you're just a huge fan and you want the grips and all of that, because it's going to do a lot of the same exact things that this one's going to do. The old Ally will not day one have all the Windows UI improvements that the Xbox Ally is going to have, but eventually it will. And this goes back to what we were talking about, Hargeet. You're going to see the Lenovo Legion Go, the MSI Claw, anything that's Windows eventually is going to get all these improvements. Obviously, we've seen some of them in the Insider build already, that now your Steam games are in your library and you're able to launch them and play them. So they still need some time. I mean, what I got to see works. It looked good. I see the potential of it, but they still have work to do on it. So hopefully by the time we get to the end of the year, they get all that stuff ironed out, and it's a pretty seamless experience. Nice. One question I will ask you about it. So the obviously, so the touch screen and everything works. Like you're able to like use your finger and move through the UI that way. It's cool. But so you don't have to. Is the point? This And again, sorry for all the fingerprints, but this will all, your D-pad, the joysticks, the buttons on this will work to navigate you through the UI. And then obviously there's that Xbox button that's going to be on here. You can click on that. That'll bring up I'm blanking on the name, but the why am I blanking on this? The game,
whatever the normal
game bar?
The game bar. Thank you. God, I could not think of that for a second. That brings up the game bar. You can navigate through that. The armory crate is still there, so you can use that if you want. So, but they're trying to figure it out so that you never have to leave that Xbox experience to install, Steam, Epic Store, GOG, security updates, all of that. You should be able to navigate and streamline through that in the Xbox experience. That's what they're still trying to figure out and get to working 100%. So the Xbox stuff, they got figured out. That works. It's the third-party digital store stuff in the windows of things, the updates and all that in the background that they still want to figure out because they never want to force you to jump to the desktop and now it's a Windows PC. They want you, if you just want it in game mode, just like a Steam Deck is, that's how it should be. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll get more, but go ahead. Yep.
Yeah, I was going to ask Parris, I don't know if you checked for this or not, but does it actually do the Xbox wireless or is it all just standard Windows Bluetooth? So they never bother.
It's Bluetooth. It's Bluetooth.
So
yeah, it's Bluetooth. Yeah.
So they're not going to add the capability to have like Xbox wireless, the Xbox accessories and all that stuff. And I wonder if they do that with the ROG Xbox or not.
See, that's what I mean. The Asus, this Xbox Ally, no, that's just doing Bluetooth stuff. Again, it's a Windows device. What I think would be curious will be the next gen console. Is that doing Bluetooth and the Xbox wireless or vice versa? That obviously is still TBD to see how that's going to work.
Nice. Plume, you got any questions for Parris on this? On any of those?
I mean, that sounds exactly what I was looking for this handheld with that operating system. Because I had a ROG Ally and I don't like the experience with Windows on these handhelds. I just don't like, it's too cumbersome. Like I want to jump right into the game.
Same.
So if that's exactly what they're trying to do there, and then they're bringing in the third-party launchers, that's pretty cool. And then you're going to be able to switch back though between Windows and Xbox like seamlessly, kind of like the Steam Deck, if you want to use the Windows experience.
I have not seen that in practice because they kept us in the Xbox experience, but that should be, again, to your point, like the example I kept bringing up is right now, my preference is a Steam Deck, is Steam OS. Yeah. You need to replicate that in Windows to get me on board. And they know it. And that's still some of the stuff that they're trying to figure out and work on.
Yeah, because that's the other thing too. We've been hearing about the rumors of like the next Xbox console where you can jump between Windows, like a PC, Windows, and then an Xbox operating system.
Console. So I don't think they're going to let you see the desktop UI on the actual console. On these devices, yes,
I agree.
I think it's going to be Windows, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Hargeet on that. And that's obviously probably a 2026 thing that we'll find out. I think whatever their Xbox console is that is running Windows, I don't think you will ever see the desktop on that. I think they will treat it like a console experience. But the difference is going to be, these are questions they obviously have to answer. Is Steam installed by default? Is that something I install myself? What if I want to install Epic? I want to install GOG. I want to put Ubisoft Connect on there. How does all that work on the console? The handheld I get. If I need to flip to the desktop and do it, I'm sure you're going to be able to do that. But how are they going to do that on the device that sits under my living room TV? Yeah. And if you do that, I should never have to use a mouse and a keyboard. It should all work with the controller.
It would be all app based, I guess. Like how would they put that into the App Store, download Steam, and then you download all your stuff? And then
no, I don't think they would even do that. I mean, the reality is there's only so many stores, and they would just partner with them and say, no, we're going to make sure that is a little shim that just comes in. If you decide to use a Steam game, it'll just bring it in and make that happen. Right? That should be the way it should work in the background. You should never have to deal with it. It should just.
Can I answer a question from your chat?
Of course.
Because again, I have to take off in a few minutes. Yep. So someone's saying in the chat about I obviously don't play games on the Steam Deck with anti-cheat. 100% correct. And that is why, despite what the weirdos online, one of my detractors want to say, that is why I said this device could be the future of Windows handhelds. Because that is the advantage Windows is always going to have over SteamOS is anti-cheat. Can't play Call of Duty, you can't play Fortnite, you can't play Apex, things like Destiny, you can't play because of anti-cheat. So if they get it so that it works just as good as SteamOS, now I would sway more towards a Windows handheld, because now I can play these multiplayer games that have anti-cheat on it. So, and again, we had these conversations when I was at the showcase. They know that too. That is one advantage they'll have over Valve with SteamOS if they can figure all that out.
Nice. Well, I do want to welcome out over 375 people that are watching us live right now on X, on YouTube, and one person watching on Twitch. Thank you for joining us.
That's me. I always fired up on Twitch.
Sweet.
No,
sweet.
Okay.
That's funny. So I know, Parris, I know you need to take off, so I want to give you the opportunity to step out. Forte, Gaming Forte will be here in just a little bit, but we're definitely going to be continuing our topics with Plume. But Parris, again, thank you so much for your time, for jumping on with us tonight. Please tell everybody where they can reach out to you, where they can find you. And I jumped on, in the chat with your show that you did earlier today, and I thought it was great. I hope you do many more of those.
No, I appreciate that. And yeah, that was very just random that I did that.
Cool.
I'm trying to do more stuff on my personal YouTube channel. I put content up, like I put the MetaQuest 3S video up there, and I'll do a review or preview every now and again on there as well. But I mean, you can find me, Gamertag Radio, kind of funny. If you look for me on social media, it's at Vicious696. And Ray wanted everyone to know that he is 3'11". So I'm just letting you know that now. That's how tall he is. His favorite game is Keebler Kart Racing. He's a character in that as well. So love you, Ray.
Wow. Now, somebody said his favorite movie was it The Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
Lollipop Bill?
he was a stunt double in The Wizard of Oz. Yes.
We love you, Ray. So much love.
No, but I appreciate you having me on.
Yes.
I'm sorry I can't stay for the whole thing. Actually,
All
gotta
good.
go make dinner. But
Nice.
yeah, I will say before I go, I just want to make this clear. First and foremost, Hargeet, what you, Ben, everyone did for the watch party was amazing. Technical issues aside, what you were able to pull off for version 1.0 was amazing. I know what you're going to do next year and beyond is going to be.
We're already planning next year. We're going to have fun. Thanks. And by the way, thank you for hosting the panel. That was awesome.
Yes.
Well, no, I was even going to say, I mean, the fact that you let myself and Danny and Rihanna and Khalif, be a part of that was amazing as well. And I will say this too. This is why I love the gaming community, and whatever you might think of Xbox and all of that, the fact that Aaron Greenberg and Jason Ronald were there along with other people from Xbox, sitting in the crowd, interacting with people. Obviously, I know they did stuff, once we got to leave, I love that stuff. I love that they make themselves available to the community and they interact with people. I just think that's such an awesome thing. And then Dave, the fact that I got to meet you in person, we got to hang out, got to talk, that's why I love doing this.
Awesome.
I do. It's the in-person stuff. You can be anybody you want to be online, but when you're in person with someone, you get to see who people really are. And you're an awesome person, and I'm very thankful that I've had a chance to meet you.
It was
not you, Hargeet. I'm kidding.
My pleasure. Whatever. It was definitely one of the highlights of the weekend for me, and I really appreciate that. It means a lot coming from you, sir. Thank you.
No. Thank you for having me. And Plume, I know I feel like I talk 10,000 miles a minute because I know I only had so much time here, but it's very nice to meet you. Hopefully we'll get another chance to converse, and hopefully we'll meet in person too.
Yeah, you too, guys. Appreciate it.
There you go.
All right. Well, you guys
Parris
have a good
Lilly,
night.
You have a great night, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, Parris Lilly. Amazing. Make sure please like and subscribe. Yes.
One last thing. Keebler Kart Racing starring Ray. Pick it up. It'll be on the Switch 2 and the next gen Xbox. All right, I'm out.
I love it. So Ray, what's up with that? So much love you're getting from Parris. I love it. We got a couple of super chats and member chats that we'll get to. Oh my goodness.
All right. So P-Lump. Hey, P-Lump. Member of 6 months. WebDave, everything. Play my WebDave, everything. We'll play my theme song. What's up with everybody in the chatting on the panel? Y'all know where I'm at each and every Tuesday at 6:15.
Rolling, 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 keep rolling, 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 keep rolling, rolling.
Watch him rollin', watch him go, watch him rollin', watch him go. He be rollin' down the street, he be rollin' to the beat.
There you go, P-Lump. There's your song, buddy. There you go. Welcome out. Thank you, Parris, for being here, hanging out with that, and Tony for putting up with our shenanigans. Anyway, go ahead, Hargee.
Brian B888. Again, I don't know if this is changing people's names or whatever.
It
but
is
$2.
changing their names, yeah.
Getting herd of her ponies to gaslight everyone. Yeah, I guess we'll see where that all goes, right? That's another topic, I guess. At Baby Boy Ray, and I don't know if this is supposed to be Ray or something. I don't know, whatever. Remember
Ray
for 4 months renewal.
Baby Boy is Ray.
So okay, and then Eternal Shaddai, $10. My question is, since Game Pass is part of MetaQuest 3S, which games are VR ready? At least let us have an unbelievable experience of MS Flight Sim, Halo, or COD have that VR experience, not a screen. That's an interesting question as to whether they will go down that path or not, because they used to do, some of their games used to have like a actual VR experience, and they've kind of stopped all that.
Didn't Skyrim have one?
To see if they do that. What was that?
Didn't they do that to Skyrim? Enabled that or something?
Skyrim absolutely has had VR.
So it's not out of the realm.
Yeah. Why am I forgetting? Asa would do like a whole VR. His whole VR rig. Remember Asa came on Daily Rig?
Yes,
he had amazing. A whole rig with you can walk and an omnidirectional walking thing, right? And that's what he would play all the time. The Skyrim, you would see him like in that in the VR mode. So yeah, absolutely, they've had VR. Other games have done it before as well from the Xbox catalog, but they've kind of shied away from it. But yeah, I don't know if they will actually go back. Maybe they will do that. That'd be awesome. I like, for those who want to do the VR or AR thing, it is an interesting experience. So
yep, that's for sure.
All right. And Will the Broke Boy Insider for $5. Question for the panel. Wish I could get Parris. Oh well. Do you think all the talk the last few years about the next Xbox has hurt sales of current console?
No.
I don't know that it does. A lot of people buy the current gen console, even though the next gen is coming out, and even while the next gen is coming out. So I don't know. It's an interesting thought, but I don't know.
I think for a lot of console sales, it's just the enthusiasts that buy it within like the first year or so, and there's a lot of people that buy it later. So they'll still be buying the next Xbox console when the new one comes out if it's cheap, and so I don't think so.
Yeah. I got one more.
Good old P-Lump, $5. We need to start taking the fight to these ponies' doorstep. I'm tired of the BS. Enough is enough. They not like us, and we ain't equal or the same.
There you go. Keep on rolling, P-Lump. I like it. I do. I'm just kidding, buddy. Oh, P-Lump, you're awesome, dude. And so is Ray and everybody else in the chat. I do want a big shout out. We have so there's some amazing women gamers out there, and we have a couple of them in the chat right now. I know that Holly, that blue number, is joined us in the chat, which is awesome. Epic Treasure is here as well, so it's awesome to see Epic. So Epic is absolutely amazing. If you get to see her content, and more are in the chat as well. So a lot of people that are jumping in. RSJ fan, I saw her earlier, and many more. So Doom Cutie messaged me the other day, so we talked to her. So she's out doing some really good work as well. So like I said, there's a lot of amazing content creators out there, and guys, give them a chance, man. You're gonna love their content. It's absolutely amazing. And of course, we also we have Xena out there hanging out with us as well. Xena, you got to get on her one of these days. I'm just saying. Go ahead, Hargee.
And that's a Q. Or am I just seeing that wrong? Does that have a Q there instead of an O? I don't know. It looks like it, doesn't it? But Bunty renews membership for 19 months.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because of the original thing, and then and then one more. Jeez. Okay. Thanks, guys.
One.
Yep.
And then L maybe whatever it was. Right. Is that in my opinion,
LMAO maybe
issue. LMAO. In my opinion, Xbox issue with console sales is sales marketing. It could be. It could just be that it's the usual. The rest of the world does not care about Xbox, and the US is really the only market that buys them. I don't know what Europe and Canada, Plume.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah. So what is the market like over there for Xbox? Is
it's
it
similar. It's
to the
pretty
US?
mixed, like PlayStation. It's everything, but
Okay.
yeah, it's pretty similar to the States.
Pretty similar to
Xbox
the States.
sells
So-
here, but I don't think it's the number one seller.
Yeah. So here's really where it like competes. Everywhere
Yeah.
else, it's like meh. It's almost non-existent, and I don't know how they change that. But one way to change that would be to say that well, Windows is Xbox, and now like because everybody uses that, that's just
Yep.
the way it is, right? So
Yeah.
we'll see if that changes things, right? We'll see what that does going forward.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the way they're trying to change it is to tap more into obviously the PC user base and try to get people onto
Yeah.
there by putting Steam on consoles. Like that's the obvious thing. And you look at the console sales from PS4 to even PS5 and 1 to Series X and S, they're pretty much identical. Like the numbers are going to be very similar generation to generation. It's just it's stagnant. It's not growing. So they have to find out something else to do.
Exactly. Hargeet, I'm gonna let you pick on the well, another message for you, and then I'm gonna let you pick the next topic. I'll be right back.
Dave
I gotta grab
Easy
this
to
phone.
Hargeet and the Stroker.
Is that what I think it means?
So
Maybe
I
not.
don't know if you've seen this joke, but Epic Treasure was reading Bram Stoker's
Yes.
Dracula.
Which is really good.
And-
She does a great voice. It's awesome.
And WebDave was mentioning that, but he called it Bram Stoker's.
I said stroker, and then they've never let me live it down. Yeah. So yeah, but if you get a chance to hear Epic read anything, ASMR.
Oh my goodness!
It's
But
amazing.
anyways,
So what?
If you like this video,
LB.
please hit the like button.
All right.
L Baby, $2. YouTube is posting my handle. It's Vic Algambino. Okay, that's who it is. Vic okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah, this is the problem. Like, I don't know what these are supposed to translate to anymore. So,
Yeah.
but anyway,
Hopefully they'll get that fixed.
PTS, talk that shit.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
P-Up, $5. Plume, what are you drinking? I'm about to have a Heineken with you.
I'm
Yeah.
just drinking a basic Miller genuine draft.
Nice.
I was just saying yes to everything people were saying in the chat, asking if I was drinking that. I was just saying yes, but I'm not drinking any of those things. I'm actually drinking this.
There you go. Well, usually you drink like an IPA or something. That's,
Yeah.
So
This was the only thing that was cold in my fridge, so I just grabbed it.
it's got to be cold, man. It's got to be cold or it's no good. I'm with you.
All right. So as far as the next topic, I think we should just cover the. You put in a topic of will you even need a PlayStation? Let's just.
I did. I got to step out. I got to make a quick call real quick for work, but I will be right back. So you guys take off on that one and I will be right back.
All right.
Good
Plume, what do you think?
Well, you need a PlayStation next generation.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just like a personal that's just like a personal choice thing, right? Because like for me, I'm looking at my PS5 right now, and to be completely honest, I haven't touched that thing in a very, very long time. Going into next gen, especially with their games on Steam, I probably am not too interested in picking up a PlayStation 6. Like unless they do something crazy, add some new features that I get the FOMO for when they announce it, and then I buy it because I'm excited when it drops. But I personally will not need a PlayStation next gen well, even now I don't need one technically because their games are on Steam and I have a PC that can play all of those games. So personally, I don't see any need for it. But there will be obviously the hardcore fans that are going to buy it day one. There will be the people that don't want to wait 6 months to a year to play their first party games. So you would need a PlayStation for that if you just always have FOMO for these games coming out and you can't wait for it. But the reality is PlayStation is going in the same direction with PC that Xbox is going, which is we've seen it in their financial reports. We've seen them already do this with current games that they have out there. They're putting them on Steam, they're putting them on PC, and they aren't going to block them on the Xbox consoles. I don't see any sort of business reasoning or sense why they would do that, because I think the only way they could do that, correct me if I'm wrong, Hargeet, but like they would have to take their games off Steam. Like there's no really other way that they could.
Yeah.
So
No. Yeah. Well, so here's what they could do. They could in their game themselves, they could do something funky and try to make it hard for it to work, right? Here's the problem though. That would break the terms of service with Steam, and Valve is not interested in that, right? They sell you a game, they want it to work. Period. Wherever they put their stuff, they want it to work. And so if that doesn't happen, that breaks their their terms of service with their consumer. So they're very happy to say, we're just delisting your game. We don't want this. Have a nice day. Refund, goodbye. Right. So I always say this, Valve in no way needs PlayStation. They don't. They work fine without them. They do not care. And if PlayStation decides to play these games, they're going to just pull it out and say, bye, Sony. We don't need you. Bye. We're not going to play this game. We're just not. So
they risk pissing them off if they were playing games like that with them. And you're right. It's PlayStation needs Valve. It's not the other way around.
It's the other way. Yeah, exactly. Right. So, I guess so. To delve into, do you need a PlayStation? You don't need any of these. This is all just fun, right? So you choose whether you want to be on a platform or not. To be fair, you don't need, if you have a good PC rig, you don't need a Switch or an Xbox or a PlayStation. You can pretty much get all of that stuff on PC.
Well, Switch,
maybe legally, really. You know, I'm not going to get to the legalities of it. You are absolutely able to play all these games on, and now Switch 2 has been kind of figured out, let's just say, and they will start getting to the point where the things will be available. Like, let's just say that. But Switch 1 games, I mean, yeah, it's been there. But you can do that with a PC, right? So if you really want to play everything, that is the place to be. Do you need a PlayStation? The answer is obviously no. You don't need an Xbox. You don't need a Switch. You just get a PC. You can play everything you want. In the world of gaming, though, it just depends on what you want. Right? If you want to be on that platform, like you're saying, that, hey, maybe there's some killer feature. Maybe you just like the brand. Maybe you just want to be like playing on a play. It's fine. Let's go buy it. If you are an Xbox gamer, it becomes harder to justify. I can't. I just don't. I bought all of them. I just like all the PlayStations. I just don't need it anymore. They put their games on PC. And I'm like, I have a massively high-end PC. Their games release schedule is so slow that it's like, well, okay, they release a game a year. That's what they're saying. They release a game a year. It's like, okay, I wait a year or two and that game comes out on PC. I just finished Horizon Forbidden West on my PC. It's like, okay, I just wait. I don't care. It's fine. I can wait. It's like they don't really compel me in any way to be on their platform. The exclusivity thing is not useful to me. I don't care. Fine. Because their games aren't that compelling to me. The exclusives they have, a lot of people like them. That's fine. That's fair. I'm not that compelled by their exclusives. They're just not that compelling to me. So, and some people do that with Nintendo. They're like, I don't care about those. Well, I like those games. I like Zelda, Mario. I like those games. So I'm happy to go buy that. But for people who want to play another, the Intergalactic or Saros or I'm assuming Horizon 3 is coming. Horizon from something, whatever they're going to do for Forbidden West's next game, because they kind of left that on a cliffhanger there. So I'm assuming there's going to be another one. Sure. But again, for me, it's like I can just wait it out like that. But out of their catalog of games, I might be interested in 3 in a generation. For 3 games, you want me to buy that console? Like Death Stranding 2 is a temporary exclusive. We know it's temporary because they're gonna bring it to PC and most likely to Xbox. Death Stranding 1 is on Xbox. Why do I need to buy it immediately? I can just wait, right? I didn't even go through and play much of Death Stranding 1. I have it. I bought it on Xbox. I have it on Epic. I can play it. It was in Game Pass on PC. I can certainly play that game. I tried it and then moved on. I should probably go back and give it a fair chance. I heard it was decades before it actually tens of hours. I want to say tens of hours before you actually get into the fun part of the game. I'm like, tens of hours, really?
For Death Stranding 2?
Death Stranding 1.
Oh yes, that was. I couldn't finish Death Stranding 1. I was too bored. So I'm not really
okay, if that's your you want me to spend that much time before it makes the game fun, it's like, well, why? I can just go to another game. And so that's really kind of what pushed me away from it. Okay. But I hear it's a good game. So I'm like, fine, I will go back to it and try to give it a chance. But this is the thing. They have these one-offs here and there. It's like, all right. Versus, Xbox has 12 first-party games this year. 12. Versus 1. Nintendo hasn't even completed their, roadmap for the year. And they already have 8. Okay. And you just can't compare one game. To be fair to them, they have MLB The Show. I should always just point that out. They have MLB The Show. It comes out every year, but they have one game. And it's like, dude, I don't know. And like that calculus is on you as a consumer. If you're an Xbox primary, it won't make sense. If you're a Nintendo primary, it won't make sense. It just won't. If you're a PC primary, 100% does not make sense. No point. Just why not just wait? You're going to get the better version of the game anyway. Just wait. So it just doesn't add up to me. If you're a PlayStation fan, though, I get it. You want to buy it. Fair enough. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think we're also in like such a different era where we have so many options. There's so many games coming out all the time. You have subscription services now that like the need to pick up a game day one is almost just really not there unless you're like a massive fan of this game. Again, you have the whole FOMO thing. And even if you look at like PlayStation itself and its sales and the games people play, most people aren't playing these for their first party titles. So if you don't have all your friends who are only on PlayStation, there's really, for me, there's no point. Like I said, I've been staring at my PS5. My wife's on me, like, you should probably sell this thing. I'm like, yeah, I probably should.
I got rid of it. I'm like, there's just no point.
And I want to get money for the
high value and just get rid of it.
Yeah, I'm because the prices right now are still high. So if I get like, because in Canada, PS5, I think when I bought it was like $630. Now I think it's up to like $650. So if I can get $500 for it or $450 for it, I bought this years ago, I'll take that and I'll just put it towards the ROG Xbox Ally or something. So yeah, it's unless you're, I think like a lot of people who are buying PlayStations 2, if you look again, their numbers, they're playing Call of Duty, they're playing Fortnite because all their friends are on there. And with those barriers dropping in different ways, there's crossplay. I wonder if people will be more inclined to not transfer over, especially with the prices that we're going to be getting into the next gen with like, I think a $700 base is going to be going into next gen for the console. So
if not higher, higher, especially Canada, right? It's gonna be,
and it'll be $1,000. Like I already just, it's ridiculous, but
so like as far as like needing a PlayStation in this kind of environment, that is going to be the big question mark, right? If you decide to get Game Pass, why do you need to bother? Like you're going to have so many games just constantly fed to you. At what point is it in like so? You might want one of those games, and then you could just wait and buy it on Steam and play it on your Xbox or play it on your PC. Or you can go buy the PlayStation. And again, it's a value judgment you have to make, but I don't think that's going to be a pretty high value. If you are a PC main, I just don't see it. PC players don't care. They're not going to get a console just for that, given the game is coming there, right? It used to be the games didn't come, so they're like, oh, fine, we'll buy the PlayStation because that's the only place to get it. That's done now, right? So why bother? If you're a console player, you may want to just because, hey, you want to get all the consoles. Cool. I just think that kind of the allure for me is kind of done, given that they bring it to PC. And now I'm going to get that on my console as well. Like the game is just going to show up. Like, why do I even need to bother? So it's going to be tougher for those who are in that, like, hey, I just play all the consoles. It may become like, I could just wait a year and a half. I'll wait. That's fine. I just buy one console. I don't have to pay for online for the other one or anything like that. I just pay for my one console. That's a possibility. A lot of people are also going to PC. And like there, you 100% don't need to bother. It will be interesting to see how this plays out, right? So I don't know what this console, like the current PS5, how much it tops out at. Where does it end up, right? It was 120-ish, 100, just shy of that for the PS4. What will happen to this one? I don't know, right? We will see if it even reaches that level or not. PS6 may be lower, or it may last a long time because of the technology is so good, right? They're still putting games out on PS4, for instance, right? So
they're still finding PS2 sales.
Yeah, right. So maybe we see that continue on, and PS6 just lasts so long that it just sells well enough. It's just a weird time. We will see. I don't know.
Oh, they're only at 77 million PS5 sales. I wonder if, like, do you think they're going to hit 100 before the end of this generation? As that was the last number that I'm seeing right here, as of May 2025.
But yeah, and let's assume 2027 they're going to come out. Will they sell a ton of consoles in 2027 for PS5? Not likely, right? Not likely. Will they sell a bunch next year? Right. So let's say this year they top out at 84, 85, something like that. Right. Next year, let's say they make it to 100. It's possible, right? It's possible.
Yeah.
And then, then they'll probably taper off, right? So 2027, it probably won't sell as well if they're going to announce, here's the, PlayStation 6 is coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. I don't know. This is an interesting time. We'll see what happens, right? So
I think.
Go ahead.
So I was just going to go on to kind of a different tangent. I think one of the more interesting questions is, do PC players need an Xbox if they play Steam? Because that's where I think Xbox is going to be trying to reach more people for their sales. Like, will they even see the value in that? Because a lot of PC players play mouse keyboard on their monitor, right? So will they see the value of being able to access their stuff on an Xbox in their like home theater or whatever, or will they even care? So that's going to be
an Xbox can play mouse and keyboard.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
So
So
the one thing I want to say real quick, just before we get off on that tangent, is that like, for example, the Steam store right now, like there's a big Steam sale going on. All right. Yeah. So like some of these games like are on sale big time. Like Days Gone, you can pick it up for $10, and I did that. And Spider-Man 2 is on sale for $47. Some of these other games are on sale. There's the Horizon Zero Dawn, but the complete remastered edition is $30 on sale. And on all these other ones as well too. Until Dawn, the God of War, Ghost of Tsushima director's cut. It's like $40 right now. But the thing is, like, I picked up Spider-Man. I'm not going to play it until I get the new handheld where I can play it right through there. So I'm just saying. So then we're always running sales, so you can always get this stuff and play it through there.
I wonder how much these are on PSN, if they're the same price on sale too, if they're more expensive.
I don't think they're on sale. On there. I think it's only through Steam.
Yeah, so there's another thing, right?
Yep.
Steam game prices are really good.
Yeah.
There are always sales going on. You can always pick up keys from different places on sale. So yeah, this is kind of the thing. And PlayStation games, by the way, are more expensive than like a lot of other games that are even cheaper. So building up a library on the PC side is pretty it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as far as like the whole PlayStation, like what are they going to bring to the table? Like you were saying, why would somebody buy an Xbox?
Yep.
If you're a PC main, right? If you wanted to bring it over, you don't even have to buy the Xbox console. You should build a Windows PC, and they'll let you do that. Switch over to say, hey, I can flip it to the console mode, and it'll play on my TV that way. Cool, awesome. And if I ever want to switch back, I can. Cool. And maybe that's the way you engage. Does Microsoft lose in that? No, they sold you a Windows license, right? You may decide to actually buy some games through them. You may decide not to. They don't care. You might buy their games though, because that's likely to happen, right? Because they just have so many games that you're probably going to engage with something they have. And that's all they're looking for. They just want engagement, right? Another monthly active user. That's it. That's what they're looking for. So as long as they get money from you, they're happy, right? So everybody looks at it from like some people in the industry are looking at it from a like, hey, if you have a platform, you must make money from the store. And yes, Xbox can make money from the store, but they also make money from the black hole games they own. They don't need to do that because they have those black hole games that people just keep, pouring billions into. So they just make money that way. It's obviously awesome to make more. Why not? Right. But then the one that, the games that I think make the most are the microtransaction games. A lot of those are free to plays. So you're just going to download the default, right? You're going to say, oh, I want the Fortnite, normal, the game that's free to play. You're just going to download it. Which store would that be? That will be the Xbox store. You're just going to download it, right? So you're not going to specifically say, no, I want the Steam version. You're just going to download it. And guess what happens every time you buy some microtransaction? It's going to go to Microsoft. So, right, that's just kind of the way that goes, right? So, could you do it the other way? Sure. It's probably just not going to happen. I think you just default. You're just going to download it, and it's going to be from that store. So, whatever. So I think the majority of the money they're going to make, they're going to still make. And so as far as would somebody decide to buy the Xbox, only box, and they're a PC main, maybe it might be interesting because again, a lot of the games you buy on their store would be Play Anywhere, and if you buy a Steam game, it's just going to be available. So okay, there's probably no downside. It's a question of cost versus what you get. versus customizability. And those are all things you as a consumer can make the determination on. And this is the beauty of Microsoft. They don't care. Go make your own PC. Go buy somebody else's homebrew. They don't care. Right. So, you know, you want to buy an Alienware? Happy to let you buy an Alienware and play whatever you want.
Yeah. And once they get their OS out there that they've talked about, kind of like what SteamOS is doing with like their licensing that more manufacturers, that's I think a game changer for a lot of people. Like even for myself, I'll probably buy the next gen at home console first party Xbox, but the reality is I care more now at this point in their operating system and how and where I would be able to install that, because it's just a logo on a plastic box. That's the only difference between these things, right? So I'll go and I would build, like, if I can get an at-home console that is even more powerful than that, and at that time I can afford it, all that stuff, I would do that if I can just put the Xbox operating system on that and stuff. So that to me is huge. We're seeing Steam do that with their handhelds, which I think is very smart, and that's going to continue to expand out. When they started doing that with Steam, I was like, yeah, Xbox needs to get going, because Steam is going to continue doing this. SteamOS is awesome. A lot of people love it. If they're trying to get PC players, they need to start competing on that front. So they're getting there. I'm just hoping that they start releasing it soon, that you can download it on other things as well.
Agreed. I think we got a couple of super chats and get to memberships. You might want to read through those.
That. Let me see where we were. This was the last one, I think, Plume, right? So you're drinking. Okay, so and this was Vic El Gambino, apparently, right? Plume, I officially welcome you to the TTS XCC community.
I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
B-Lump, $2. Ain't nothing wrong with a Mr. Good Guy.
There you go.
Bounty, $5. Only thing Sony gonna do for PlayStation 6 is copy Xbox feature like quick resume and play anywhere. I don't know about that. We will see. They could do something with that. Quick resume is not as trivial based on how they do things, but play anywhere. They'd have to have a store on Windows to do that. We will see if they decide to do that. Maybe they do. We'll see.
Are they gonna have cloud saves that are free, or are those still locked behind?
God, that is yet another
locked behind their wall.
Yeah,
the paywall for cloud saves. That's just so terrible.
And if you miss a payment, they're gone.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's like, I'm surprised more people aren't outraged about that, because that's wild, especially now with
Nintendo does the same, by the way.
That's just as bad. Yeah.
Bounty again gifted 20 WebDave memberships. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. And if you got one of those, it's just $1 if you want to buy your own. But with that, you get now over, I think it's like 15. No, it's over 20 different emojis now that we have available to use, and you can. We like for example, tonight we even have ones for guests. So like we have the Plume emoji in the chat. We have a Parris emoji, and we have the Gaming Forte whenever he gets here emoji in the chat, as well as, of course, Hargeet and me, WebDave, and even Holly's got hers. Holly's still there as well. Yay! That blue number has her own because she's a Jedi. So in case you didn't know. So yeah, sorry.
All right. At Bunty $2. Why need a PS when they have only one game a year? Again, that's a value statement for you, right?
True.
Look, if you are a PlayStation happy player, like you love PlayStation, you get other games, right? We don't want to take that away. You obviously get all the third-party games coming to you. A lot of Xbox games are coming to you, right? So if that's where you want to play, fair enough. Pay your $80, $70, whatever per game, and have fun. Yep. Will Broke Boy, the Insider, $2. The Days Gone is the DLC upgrade for $10. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, you know what? And when I got it, I actually got it on another sale, and I picked up the whole thing for I think it was $5. So just saying that you can catch them. Sometimes they do it throughout the year.
All right, we are caught up on super chats.
All right, and I know that it's kind of off topic for a quick second, but there's a big game it's come out, and with that always sometimes has a little bit of fun things that people do in celebration. So this is the quote unquote if you were to play Death Stranding in real life, and it's there's two different little clips, but they are pretty fucking funny. Here we go.
You got this. Is this place part of the chiral network? Yeah. You haven't seen my Cupid around here, have you? Cupid? Yeah. I'm gonna connect this place to the chiral network.
And that really is Marie Osmond.
Are you okay? I'm fine. Thank you.
Your journey will be hard. You will be challenged, but you have to press on. There are some that will doubt your vision.
What are you doing here? I'm just transporting some rare resins.
That sounds kind of sketchy.
Sounds kind of sketchy. Here, I'm gonna go to this one. All right, so here's another one. Oh, I actually went into a Walmart. Oh, this one's just short too, but damn funny.
What just happened? What did happen? What just happened?
So yeah, I thought those were pretty funny.
That's
But
Mega
kudos to this
64,
guy.
right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah, that's
funny
good.
shit though. So yeah, all right. Dedication to the craft. You gotta love it. We
You know
did
that's
have
game of the year, right?
Is
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Better than
Oh,
Claire Obscure?
No,
Oh,
Claire
it's
Obscure's
winning
gonna
game
win.
of the year, dude.
Ah,
It's
whatever.
tough.
No.
It's tough. It's
No.
game of the year.
Well, yeah, I guess it is Keeley and Kojima. So
Wait a minute.
Exactly.
I mean,
And PlayStation. Oh my god, the trifecta. It's
I
done.
mean,
Game
yeah.
of the year.
So we do have the poll up, and we got more polls going to drop. So I'm going to end this one real quick. So next gen Xbox as soon as 2026. 75% said yes out of 224 people that voted, and 24% say no. So interesting. I hope that actually comes to fruition.
wasn't there
Interesting.
information from the ABK trial as well where they were saying something about making this for 2026 that came out? I thought that was going around, and then I thought there was something that they were talking about nothing until 2027. Sarah Bonnet said something, but I don't remember exactly what it was. But I could, like I
All
said,
rumors, right? But
yeah, it's all rumors. Like I could see the 2026 thing happening. I remember hearing 2 years back and forth in these rumors.
Yeah, we're gonna put up a spicy poll right now. This is either gonna get a lot of hate or a lot of humor. Alrighty, so the next poll question I'm throwing up is will there be a PS6? Let's see what happens with this one. It's just a poll. Just to get your input. There we go. Hargeet loves it when I'm messy. Oh, goodness. Hargeet, where do you want to go with the topics now? We got a little bit more time. Where would you like to go?
All right, so you had the handheld taking pre-orders soon. You had Xbox and AMD. I thought we already talked about Xbox and AMD, didn't we?
We
not
did.
cover that
We did a
already?
little bit last week. Yeah.
Let's see. The VR headset we already did. What's next in gaming? I don't know what one was about. I don't know if we want to kind of delve into that.
We can, and we can also take questions from the chat. If people have questions, you don't have to do a super chat. You can just put a question in the chat, and we will bring it up on screen. I'm going to throw that up there as well, just kind of like to let everybody kind of see that, and then and we'll like I said, if you have a question in the chat, let's see what you got for me, Hargeet and Plume.
Remastered.
He's not wrong. He's not
we'll
wrong.
We'll see. That could or could happen, may not happen. I don't know. It's rumors and speculation until it does happen. But I don't really want to beat a dead horse on something like that hasn't even happened yet. So if it happens, then we'll talk about it then. But right now, I mean, layoffs happen. I mean, I've been laid off before. I'm sure other people on the panel have, and hopefully you don't wish it on anybody, but there's a lot of different situations that go into that, and not necessarily what you'd think. So we do get a super chat. Let's check that out.
Absolutely.
Oh, I saw
Yeah,
this.
so-
I think I saw it because Dirt quote tweeted this one.
Nut.
Christopher Dring posted Death Stranding 2 physical sales 66% lower than Death Stranding 1, but adds a disclaimer that it's a different era in gaming with more people buying digital now. Does he use that disclaimer for Xbox games? Obviously not, because they don't care to actually give Xbox any credit anytime, ever. That's just the way it is. So thanks for that, Will. $10. Yeah, it's look, the fun thing is this is usually UK sales. And UK market share for Xbox is abysmal to begin with. It's like 10-15% max. Half of Xbox sales are digital Series S consoles, so you're not going to include those anyway. So and so if you're talking the sliver of a sliver, it's like, oh, they didn't sell this. Yeah, well, how much are you expecting them to buy when they have this small market share? It's like that never seems to get added in as context. But whatever, it is what it is. It's always going to be like that. But that is an interesting data point. If you assume that the sales are similar, right, as far as like the actual unit sales, that a bunch have shifted to digital, which just kind of signifies where things are. People
Yeah, and
really are kind of
even
moving to digital.
Nintendo is pushing people there, and if they're pushing people,
Is what it is.
It's over.
Yeah.
Physical's done.
So, according to Google AI, there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of games on PC outside of the Steam store. So even without Steam, there is maybe millions of games available. Yeah, I mean, there really are. PC is a massive platform. It is what it is, right? It's been there since what, like the late 70s, early 80s, with DOS and onwards. So, Amazon, Apple, and even Sony are potential suitors for WB.
Sony doesn't really have the money, I don't think, to be honest. I mean, they're still paying for Bungie, and that's billions that they owe still on Bungie.
So
wouldn't
I
think
mean, this is not a gaming thing, by the way. This is for content and
True.
you know, from a movie and TV perspective. I just don't know that Sony or Amazon would get it from a regulatory perspective. The Disney Fox merger kind of really annoyed people after it was done, as far as the regulators around the world. I don't know that they would say, okay, let's take, you know, Columbia, you know, Sony Pictures in Columbia, and merge that with WB. Again, there were big major publishers of content, and Sony's one of them, and WB's another one. And Amazon barely got MGM. Remember, they have that, and now they're gonna say MGM and WB, and it's like, I don't know. I don't know that happens. Apple has a clear path. They could do it. Apple could do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any appetite at Microsoft for even bothering, so I don't know if that can happen. But I like the FTC hates Amazon. A hard time getting anything. So I don't know what happens there. And again, Sony would have to go through some interesting gyrations to say they're not going to be too big. So I don't know. I heard that someone got denied trading in a PSVR 2. I thought it was no, this was something that King David said.
King David, yes.
But I already knew that because I looked it up. They give you Ziltoid. You can't trade
in PSVR 2?
Nope.
PSVR 1 or 2. They give you nothing. They don't.
They won't take them out on trade anymore.
They don't want it. So yeah, there's no. This is a GameStop, by the way. I don't know if it's available elsewhere. Maybe you can put it on eBay or something like that. But yeah. Anyway,
I wonder if you're going to be able to play PSVR 2 through Xbox, because the app works. I launched it via the Xbox PC app. So
oh wow,
yeah.
So
that would be cool.
Sony can't do it. They don't have the money to outright buy WB without repercussions. Look, yeah, this is an interesting one. I don't know. They are on their path to try to get more IP, and certainly WB has some awesome IP that they can then take advantage of. I get that, and it helps in the gaming too. It's not like it doesn't help there too. But like, I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of regulatory hurdles to do this. Remember, they tried to buy a much smaller, what is it, From Software thing, Katakawa, right?
Yes.
And that fell through. They had to make it a partnership because there was regulatory pushback. And I don't know that this is going to be something they can. We will see. also means they would own DC Comics, right? They would. It is an interesting thing. We will see. If Expedition 33 is not gaudy at the Video Game Awards, a lot of people are going to be really mad, and I am one of them. I'm sorry, Danny Passion.
I love that game, and I think
Me
it's true,
too.
but we still have half a year left, so you never know. There could be much more.
I'm sorry, but I already see the tea leaves. You can just see it. It's very, very clear. They want it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be Death Stranding 2.
You shall see.
Spartan, Xbox, Steam, PlayStation get their 70% regardless of the operating system you play on.
True.
Yeah.
Yep. That is true. That's one of the things that Microsoft
well,
looks at too.
I guess you mean the flip. They get their 30%, right? So is that what
Right.
you mean? Like the stores, Xbox, Steam, and PlayStation, they get their 30%.
I think so.
And by the way, it's not 30%. So Steam has a grading level of how many unit sales you have. It then reduces their cut. So that's how they work. Xbox has different grading, and all these things are worked out per game. I don't like expect it to be absolutes, but they have on the Xbox side it's 30%. On the PC side, I want to say it's 10%. So it's not the same. And then PlayStation, obviously they bargained because we all remember Bobby Kotick said, "Oh, you want Call of Duty, do you?" Yeah, I'm taking 80. Oh, you don't want Call of Duty? Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's
He
how
sure
it
did.
works, right?
He was a weasel.
Vic Gambino, Plume, do you have a store
Merch
a
store.
store, I assume, for your
Yeah.
merch?
I don't right now, unfortunately. But
bumming.
thank you for asking.
Yeah,
maybe,
no
maybe
worries.
one day. Maybe one
Yeah,
day
and
soon.
then whenever you do, you can always just jump in the chat and drop the link in here too as well.
Yeah, I mean it's not difficult to set up, but if you need a little help, I can always point you in there.
Yeah, it's like
WEBDAVE. It's pretty straightforward, right? So
for sure.
yeah.
It's a time thing, and I just gotta sit down and do it.
But
I'm not good at the administration side of this stuff.
But I tell you, man, it's so easy. Even if you just
It's
have
not
your
that
logo
bad.
and design, you don't have to. You don't have to merchant. You don't have to make stuff, ship stuff, nothing. You can just set up an online store
most of
that
the
takes care
stores
of
do it
all
for
that
you.
for you, and you just get a small
Yeah.
percentage. That at least gets your merchandise out there. That's what we do. It's
Yeah,
like,
I have logos. I got this logo and stuff. So
Yeah.
probably worthwhile.
And that's all it takes. And then you say, I want these 5 items, 10 items, and then they handle the rest. Like if it's a T-shirt, they'll handle the small, medium, large, all this stuff. They'll handle all that for you.
You don't
just
have
give
to have a
them the
minimum
logo.
order. You don't have to have. I mean, nothing. They could simply
handle
order
all
one
that.
shirt. They'll go and they'll do a one-off print, ship it to them
Yeah.
at a reasonable
Pretty cool.
price,
But either
and
way,
you'll get percentage off of that. Yep.
Cool.
and we've got a new member renewal, member for 1 month. Maybe it's just a new membership from James Thomas, 2410. And I don't know if that's supposed to be something else, but whatever. Steam has exclusive games you can't get on consoles. Yeah, that's true, Spartan. There are plenty of games that are actually.
But if they
Exclusive to
have a
PC.
way to play your Steam games through your console,
You suddenly have them. And Battle.net, by the way, is one of the stores that Sarah mentioned because, of course, they own it, right?
Yep.
And that will be coming to console. And you know what's in Battle.net? You know what game might be in Battle.net?
World of Warcraft.
Small little game.
They gotta bring that to console. Like let's do this. Let's go. Like bring that to console.
And they could even use a controller with a mouse. They could use a mouse and keyboard if they wanted to.
Just map it
has the
to
ability to be played by controller. It has the ability to be played by controller.
Yeah,
so
there you go. Like you see, like Elder Scrolls Online on controller, how big that is. So you got to bring something.
Yeah, so
clever.
I'm just saying. So Rift's a lot, $2. Kojima alone makes Pony's toes curl.
Very true. Oh my goodness.
It's got 100%. Yeah, I read the tea leaves. It's just so obvious to me at this point. Like, look, Ghost of Yotai could come out and be a 98 meta and then displace it. Unless that happens, which I don't think it's going to happen. Remember, Ghost of Tsushima was like a mid 80s, low 80s meta game, right? So, and I love Ghost. I think it's their best game. Ghost of Tsushima to me is like Sony's best game. But I don't think it's Ghost of Yotai is going to somehow way outdo the first one. So I just don't see it. Death Stranding 2 is a 90 meta. It's
high, yeah.
all over it.
What was Carib's Scale like 92, 93? So there's
exactly. And I'm sorry. It's gonna get it. If you guys didn't watch it, watch the Iron Lords. And was it Gene was talking about it?
Gene Parks.
Gene Park was talking about how Death Stranding 2 is like leagues ahead of Expedition 33. Leagues ahead. 100% going to be game of the year. And I'm like, and look, those are the kind of people that vote. They're the ones who vote for this.
That's to me is such a ridiculous statement, because it's like you're comparing like an indie studio with like their first game that put out this insanely amazing turn-based RPG versus Kojima, who has like almost unlimited money with the man he gets funded and everything, right, to make this thing. And
it is what it is, though. I'm just telling you.
And I love Gene Park, but I just disagree. I think that statement, there has to be context surrounding it.
Yeah, so I can just see it. This is the voting panel. These are the people that are going to do all the voting for game of the year. I see it. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
yeah.
So
that's why I predicted, what Jim will call it. Astrobot was going to win game of the year. I'm like, I could.
And you got it. Yeah, yeah.
The things that they're saying, like, that's going to win game of the year.
And that's not on Steam yet, but it will be.
Eventually,
so,
I'm sure.
Yep. So one thing I do, Sir Riffslot, he put your icon in. That's how come it says Plume so much on the screen.
Okay,
so your emoji in there. So I said the homie. But I thought this was kind of cool. I want to make sure you heard it. Plume, you're getting a lot of love because everybody loves your content, man. Just so you know.
I appreciate that, guys. I appreciate that. That motivates me to want to put this out there. So I appreciate it.
I'd pick up a Flex Fit Plume logo hat. So there you go. And I tell you, people would do it, and it's easy for that. If you need help, me or Hargeet, either one or both of us would definitely help you with no problems at all.
Yeah, I'll probably message you just like what store you use and stuff. And
I've actually got 2 or 3 of them because none of them, I don't have to pay for any of them. And I've got on 2 that people can use their own choice as to what kind of different stuff they want. Cool. So yeah, just added a new store just the other day. So, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of great ways you can do that. And like I said, and if anybody doesn't know, Tony here from the Plume Network. He absolutely does amazing content. He puts out videos every single weekday, and it is the latest gaming news, all the stuff you need to know, and not just from Xbox, but from all consoles. And his a fair approach when he talks about it. I really do enjoy his content. That's why I love. I'm dropping stuff. I love having him on here because he really does a really great job, and he's very informative and very nice guy as well. And so there you go. So I
appreciate it, Dave. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Right back at you, man. And if you want to, you actually see an interview of him, you can see that on my channel as well as Hargeet Chani's interview. Just saying. so yeah. We get a super chat or we do that one? We did that one, right? Yes, we did. Okay.
Yeah, we did do that. Yeah, it's the one where I cracked up.
Yeah. That's right. Sorry, I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. Let's see where we at on time. Okay, cool. Go ahead.
I was gonna say one of the things from the chats that were coming up, that question with like WB Games is if let's say PlayStation does make a major purchase of that, wouldn't that push them as well more to putting their content in more places and becoming more like Xbox? Because I don't know if you got
interesting question. Well, what would happen, right? Because their general, to your point, would be to say we're going to make them exclusive.
Yeah.
Would the industry allow that?
That's the thing with the whole regulatory stuff and the ABK acquisition. I feel like they would have to make some more adjustments. We'd be seeing more games in other places. And reason I kind of triggered that thought was because I don't know if you guys saw Colin Moriarty's tweet that was blowing up about asking Xbox fans or whatever, how will Microsoft drive revenue by sending Xbox customers to Steam?
Easy.
Yeah, and then Jeff Grubb put out a video like a month ago where he kind of quote tweeted, and he was in that video. He was talking about one of the things that Xbox could be setting themselves up for is regulatory stuff coming in that's going to change the industry, where they're going to have less closed off ecosystems and stores. So I feel like if that were to happen, if PlayStation goes out and buys WB, we're going to be seeing a lot more PlayStation games in more places. I don't think they would be able to put everything there exclusive, but that's just based off of the stuff that I was reading and listening to.
Agreed. I do agree that Spartan 661 Plume is my go-to guy for gaming news. There you go.
Nice.
I appreciate it, Spartan.
There you go. Got a couple more super chats.
Yeah. So Sir Riffslot, $5 before I brush my teeth, before I get dressed, before I say my morning prayers, I put on Plume for the Thanks, Plume.
Thanks, Sir Slot. How big and how start your morning?
Danny Passion official $2. Expedition 33 is my game of the generation. The video game awards are rigged. Well, I don't want to say they're rigged. You just have to look at who's voting, right? And what they will, their mindset is, and that's how you can predict. It's just It's who's voting. If it was people who are more pro, let's say MOBAs, then it would be a totally different thing, right? If it was, people who are pro online shooters, it would be like, it just is what it is. You can just look at the mindset of the people who are voting, and that's how you can predict who's going to win. That's it.
Yep. It's got a little video we're playing in the background while we continue to talk. This is going through the updated version of the KY Bob put that up of the showing the store with the seamless integration of Steam through there. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
so,
and this is where the PSVR app from Steam app shows up too. So if you click on it, it launches. I wonder if they just like transfer this on to like Xbox console and the way this works. Like, could you just plug in your PSVR 2 into your Xbox USB-C and it works? Like, that'd be interesting to see.
That would definitely be interesting for sure. So yeah, interesting. Seems to be working just fine. Yeah, look at that. Imagine that playing on your Xbox. I'm sorry. Was that loud? All right.
Wait, sorry, I kind of missed. Did we talk about the fact that you probably get the PSN's like achievement things, right? Like that little applet they have. You can probably make that work. I think that can happen. You can probably make that work on the next Xbox as well. So not only would you unlock Steam Steam achievements, you could also unlock the trophies.
Do PlayStation games on Steam now, because they're removing that requirement for a lot of their games, right? Do you still get trophies?
So if you decide to do it, it's up to you, right? If you decide to go ahead and log in with a PSN account, yes, you would get the trophies.
If you decide
on the games that implement it, right? So not all the games have done it. Some of the older games didn't have it. So as they're going forward, that'll be kind of the pattern. And so if you decide to log in with your PSN, you'll get the trophies along with the Steam achievements, right? So,
yeah.
And they have Epic as well. I think almost all their games are on Epic as well. So you can get the Epic achievements or the Steam achievements plus the PlayStation trophies. So,
yeah.
No. And Gaming Forte may not be able to make it tonight. I know he left. He was on the Iron Lords earlier tonight, and he had to step out because they were working on his running some electricity into one of his other rooms, and he might not have got it back up yet. Now I'm thinking that it's been a while. I haven't heard from him, and he's usually pretty punctual, and so let us know. So most likely he still has some issue with that. That's the case. We'll have him on in a future date. Yeah, just playing some more clips from there. Oh, we got another super chat.
Danny Pash for $5. Hargeet, as soon as Astrobot was announced last year, I said that would be good. The Video Game Awards. Wukong is a much better game and innovative. Yeah, and they were apparently crying that they didn't win, right? But oh well, it is what it is. This is just kind of, I've just accepted that this is how it is. It's going to be that way. I don't think Xbox will ever get that like kind of love from the industry.
It would just be a shame because like Claire, what's their studio called?
I think they'll get nominated. I think it's
Sandfall. Yeah,
Sandfall.
Like, it's a shame. Like, they created such a masterpiece, their first game, their new studio.
It'll 100% get nominated, and I think it'll win in other award shows. I think it'll win it in other award shows. But in the Game Awards with Jeff, I just don't. I'm pretty sure the panel is going to go with this. There's one thing that could disrupt it, and that would be if a mainline Mario or Zelda comes out and is phenomenal. That could disrupt it. Outside of that, I'm sorry. It's kind of like poetically written. It's going to be Kojima, and Keely will be so happy. And shout out to Keely. That's fine. That's great. I don't have any problem with it. It is what it is, right? He likes Kojima. So that's great. I think it'll be an awesome moment for him.
Yeah, for real.
Will the not that he needs more stage time.
I'm making PS fanboys mad, telling them I'm buying PS games on Steam.
Oh my god!
Reward points. Nice. Get Walmart gift card through rewards and then Steam card with it.
It's so
then playing the games on my Rock Ally. I love it. I
put out a tweet the other day and I said, like, if on the next Xbox, if you can play PlayStation games and Xbox and Steam games, why would people be mad? And it was all these like PlayStation guys in the comments saying that they weren't mad, but they were saying that they weren't mad like, extremely angrily. They weren't mad.
Yeah.
We're not mad. Shoot. Yeah. There you
Well,
go.
I mean, that's probably going to happen more so just because people are like, well, what's the point of being on this platform, right? And the thing that that PlayStation or Sony keeps selling is the exclusivity thing, and it's like, well, the exclusivity thing doesn't seem to be doing anything anymore. So now what? So I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll see where it goes.
Like as a gamer, the reduction in barriers is something that's always been like on my
I
mind. Like
love
if
it.
they got rid of this, this
Yeah.
is great. This only benefits gamers. It doesn't do
Yeah.
anything else really.
Agreed.
Distinctive one. WEBDAVE HARGEET Plume. Greetings to you all and the chat room, respectfully.
There you go. There
Greetings
you
to you
go.
as well, sir.
All right. Well, guys, I think we probably touched on just about everything tonight, and I do appreciate Parris, Lily being here earlier. It was so awesome to have him on. Always great to have Parris on with us, and whether he's lurking in the chat or hanging out full time with us and talking, and we got to talk about a lot of stuff. And of course, grateful to Tony from the Plume Gaming Network to be here as well. Plume, if you don't mind, please tell everybody where they can reach out to you, where they can find you, and when your amazing content is on.
Yeah, no, appreciate you guys having me on. Always have a great time talking games with you guys. It's a great show and a great podcast. You can find me every morning's Plume Gaming on YouTube. 8 a.m. is when the video goes live, and X, I'm on there. Just trolling a little bit and talking games and stuff. So yeah, it's the best place to find me.
It is. Nothing wrong with a little trolling. That's for sure. That's for sure. We do love that a lot. But the thing about it, Tony, that you do keep it real, and you're very fair in your discussions, and you do cover everything, not one-sided or anything like that. That's what I enjoy about your content the most. It's a nice, good bite size, anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, just depending on what the topics are you have to go over, and it's great. So keep up the great work, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Dave.
No worries. Hargeet Chani, please tell everybody where they can reach out to you, where they can find you, all that kind of good stuff. I want to make it get you full screen here real quick so you can show up.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. So my channel, if you want to subscribe, Hargeet Chani 1 on YouTube. If you want to pick up my book, it's shop.chani.us. And I'll be on with Boom on Wednesday. I think we're gonna do Thursday for the night shift with C Money and Doodle, because Friday here in the US is our Independence Day. It's July 4th.
Yep.
So we will not be doing a podcast that day. Fonz is tentatively still going to do the show on Saturday. So hopefully you'll see me there 7 p.m. US Eastern Time on Saturday. And I don't know, WEBDAVE, are we on next weekend? What's your plan?
The only day I miss is the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so then 7 p.m. US Eastern Time on Sunday. And then
unless you need off, of course. if you need to. Oh goodness, we did get another member chat.
All right, Dave Easy, member for 12 months. I keep seeing PS Fanboy Podcast continue to analyze what the Xbox ROG Ally and Next will be, PC or console. It's not rocket science. They obsessed. Yeah, I mean, look, it would be one thing if they had some news on their side. The only news they have is a game. Death Stranding 2 came out. Go play it, right? Let's just go enjoy the game, right? They at least can hopefully talk about that for like a week, maybe at least, right? And then maybe they'll get a game in the fall, right? We have Ghost of Yotai. I think that's really the problem, is they just don't have news on that side. And Xbox has news all the time, right? So, and a lot of times they like to pile on it, and it's like, well, okay, if all you have is negativity, that's on you.
Agreed, for sure. A shout out to the over 462 people watching this live right now on X, on YouTube, and according to Parris, he's the one lone watcher on Twitch, which I don't know if he's doing that or not, but yeah. So we do appreciate each and every person that joined us tonight. Thank you so much, and it was great seeing in the chat, seeing Azina, Ray, Epic Treasure, Holly, that blue number. And of course, Parris was here in person, which is always great to see. P-Lump, I said Ray. Yeah, so and a lot of other great members of the community. We appreciate each and every one of you for being here and joining us. So shout out to you. You guys, we really appreciate because it's the reason we do this is the community, and it's some good times. It's some good times are coming. So hopefully the news won't be too bad on Monday, but whatever it is, we will tackle it once it happens next week. We're not we'll say I don't want to beat a dead horse, as that's the expression, but we'll definitely we'll cover it enough, just so people know that we've talked about it. But then again, like I said, there's so many other great things and exciting things to throw out a little positivity, and we definitely want to continue to push that as well. So please, if you don't mind, hit the like button, share this out, or at least subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. Hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 4K on subscribers, which would be awesome if we hit that. I would like that a lot. So please do that. And if you want to become a member to the channel where you have access to the emojis on the YouTube channel, it's only $1. That's it. $1 little dollar, and it gets you access to now over 20 emojis, custom emojis that we put in for fun and frolic and all that kind of good stuff. So please take advantage of that. Hargeet, Plume, thanks again for being here, guys. I really appreciate it. And thanks to everybody for joining us here on the Gamers Council.